Hey everybody, welcome back to JT Channel and welcome to a wrestling discussion video. I want to talk about a couple of things that have been going down the last week or two in the wrestling world. The WWE ESPN deal, this stuff with TNA and WWE and AEW and everything. And then at the end of the video, I'm just going to discuss WWE's relationship with AAA a little bit because I watched Triplemania and I want to talk about it. Real quick, to start this video, I want to briefly talk about MAW, my WWE 2K wrestling company that I put on the channel. I know we had a break for like 2 weeks and then I brought it back with a super show, and now, I want to get back on schedule. But for one, nobody watched the super show. It's sitting at 0 views. And for two, there's something going on right now where my attention kind of has to be focused on like this and my phone. Like, I make videos on my phone. I have to be able to answer my phone and continue the video. It's nothing like where I can't make a YouTube video. It's not like, oh, I'm being a bad person or whatever. It's just, I got to be able to have my attention divided. And that's fine when I'm doing one of these, but if I was to do MAW, it would be really hard. There's a chance that I'm going to move Monsters and Mistresses Ball by like a week to like the last week of the month, the 30th and the 31st, or the 30th and the 1st, however many days are in fucking August. But just, there you go. MAW is still going to be around. I'm not canceling it or anything. It's just, today's not a good day for MAW, and I figured this would be a better use of my time as far as a YouTube video is concerned. But I will make sure to leave timestamps. I'll even timestamp that opening a little bit, so if you want to go back and figure out what's going on. Again, I know it's vague, but if I can talk about it in the future, I will. But we're going to turn our focus over to the WWE ESPN deal, which I feel is important to speak about. Because ever since the WWE Network became a thing back in 2014, I have always been okay with paying for watching wrestling on streaming services. Now, nowadays, my brother is paying for Peacock, and I just use his stuff. He's fine with that, because he knows I use it for WWE. And it's the same thing with HBO Max. Like, I was really happy when AEW went to Max, and I started watching all their stuff on Max, and that was great. Now I think they just added like all their old stuff, like everything, so you can watch all their old stuff. And I know their pay-per-views aren't on Max anymore for whatever reason. I don't do numbers, and I'm not I don't work for HBO Max, so I don't really give a crap. But now WWE has announced this landmark deal with ESPN. We're starting next year, I think in January. I think they're going to run the rest of this year with Peacock, and starting in January, they're going to run PLEs and other specials on ESPN. I believe that's the deal. I don't think there's anything else. I think it's just the main roster PLEs too. I think like NXT is going to remain either on Peacock or somewhere else. I don't know for sure, to be completely honest with you. But the thing about this that we need to talk about is that they're talking that it's going to be $29.99 a month for the ESPN thing. And I understand capitalism. I understand inflation. All that makes sense to me. But that is dumb. Okay? I was pretty fucking pissed off when I first saw the announcement because, again, I don't pay for Peacock, but I could. Like, paying for Peacock would not be the end of the world. And the thing is, and I saw a couple creators say this, before I got the chance to. But the thing about Peacock and HBO Max and even like the WWE Network when it was still around is Netflix as well for Raw, is there are other things for you to watch on these platforms. For most wrestling fans, there are other things on these platforms that you can watch. For me, I'll give you examples. On Peacock, there is Bones, there is I can't remember the name of it. There's a show on there I really like with one of the girls from Orange is the New Black. I know her name. It's just, I didn't write any of this down. You know me, I just go off the top of my head. But the redheaded girl from that show is the lead in a show on Peacock that is really, really good. Peacock also has a lot of Blumhouse horror movies, and that's my favorite horror movie company. That's all on there. All that's on Peacock. Plus, like my brother, he watches The Office and Parks and Rec and stuff like that. HBO Max has Cartoon Network for one, Adult Swim, all the Lord of the Rings movies, a couple of the legendary Godzilla movies, legendary pictures Godzilla movies. They have some of the classics too. They have tons of Godzilla movies, and y'all know me and my Godzilla. And I think they got like Death of a Unicorn and all the Final Destinations on there. I haven't seen the new Final Destination or Death of a Unicorn, but they are things I want to watch. They also have Doctor Who and The Big Bang Theory, which me and my wife watch. Those are two of our shows we love to watch. Netflix, I could go on about forever. Supernatural, The Arrowverse, Wednesday, Shadow and Bone, Squid Game, all the Netflix original movies that we've seen. What was that one? Damsel. That movie was awesome. The Enola Holmes movies. I know I just did 2 movies in a row with the same actress, but you get my point. All of these apps, they come with other material that you can watch. You can watch your wrestling, and then you can watch whatever else you want. The majority of wrestling fans that I interact with on the internet and people I know don't watch enough other sports and other sports content to pay $30 a month for sports. You know what I mean? It's... Hold on. I told you I got divided attention. Okay. But this coming from me specifically, right? To get back on track here. I used to watch a bunch of sports with my dad when I was growing up. When I was like a teenager and all that. I enjoyed basketball, baseball, hockey, football, all of it. And even hockey sometimes. As I got older, I realized I wasn't into those as much because the entertainment part of sports entertainment really drew me in. And in all these other sports, only a couple of things happen. You know, in football, there's some tackles. In baseball, you might have someone rush the mound, but very rarely. Other than that, it's swing bat, swing bat, swing bat. Basketball, I will admit basketball is kind of exciting. I've always found basketball a little more exciting, the running back and forth, but still grab ball, shoot ball. And then hockey, again, you could see a fight, but other than that, it's puck, what the puck are we doing? So, and I'm not, for the record, if you're all getting mad at me, I'm not trying to make fun of those sports. But for me, someone with ADHD, super high energy, and potentially autism, I've just never been tested for it, I need more stimuli than that. I can't just watch 2 groups of people in separate colors throw around a ball, or smack a ball, or smack a puck. So wrestling really grabbed my attention, and over time, I got further and further away from sports. With baseball being the only one that remains, because that's something that was ingrained in my head since I was a kid. Like a kid. Both sides of my family watched tons of baseball. And with that being said, I still wouldn't pay $30 a month to watch one pay-per-view and some baseball. There's no ESPN documentaries I'm going to be interested in. Even if they put that New Heights podcast, which, yes, I only know because of Taylor Swift. I'm a huge Swiftie. That's another conversation for another day. But even if they put something that I would enjoy on ESPN, I'm not interested enough. Like, I don't know where WWE's library is going to go. If it all goes to ESPN, I still don't think I'd spend $30 a month. The WWE Network was $9.99. Again, I understand inflation. Over time, that's going to have to change. But $30 a month is too much. And the mass reaction I've seen online has been negative. But I know WWE doesn't care, because I know that regardless of the negative reaction, people are still going to pay it. Especially when you think about like, oh, well, you can watch it on pay-per-view for, $50 once a month instead of $30 once a month. But in all reality, if you pay the $30 a month, then you're paying for a streaming service that just sits there and does nothing. If you pay the however much it is, I'm assuming it's still 50, maybe 60, for the one-time pay-per-view, it's a one-time pay-per-view. And you can just move on with your life. You don't have to worry about wasting time or having a whole app with nothing to do. And that's why I think it's a mistake. Now, there is crossover. I've met people who watch pro wrestling and like football. They'll watch both. I don't know how you do that, but just because it's a lot. Sometimes there's a massive football game on the same night as Monday Night Raw. I could never. That's another reason I had to step away from sports. I'd rather watch Monday Night Raw. So, I guess I just, throwing my opinion out there, and I want yours too. If you're watching this video and you know about the ESPN deal, or if you didn't and now you do, what do you think about it? Like I said, a lot of content creators out there have been talking about this, and that is where a lot of us land, is there's not enough other stuff that we as a whole are interested in on the ESPN apps versus all these other apps. Like I already told you all the stuff on, like I said, Peacock, Netflix, HBO Max. Hell, even Prime Video, that's where a lot of the AEW pay-per-views are now. Even that, I could name a million things. The first one that pops off my head is Good Omens, one of my favorite shows ever. At least there's something else on Prime. So, I'm going to leave that conversation there. And I think now is a good time to move on to the rumors about TNA. And when I first wanted to make this video, the only thing I had heard was that TNA was about to move nights, move channels maybe, and let me rephrase that. Other way around. They need a new TV deal, and they're willing to move nights. They're on Thursdays right now. And the rumor mill said that they were willing to move to Wednesdays to compete head-to-head with AEW Dynamite. Now, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I was going to talk about that. And like I said, something changed. Now, Triple H, Nick Khan, somebody in that group, apparently, I have something on my screen, can be involved in the sale of TNA. Not only can they block certain parties, like if they want to, if someone offers to buy TNA and like WWE's board doesn't like them, they can say no. So WWE can stop the sale of TNA. But apparently WWE could potentially buy TNA. Now this is wild for so many reasons. The biggest one being, this is stuff that people were saying like 15 years ago, saying that, oh, Vince McMahon will just buy TNA someday. Now, the Vincent Kennedy allegations, McMahon, has nothing to do with this, thank God. But it's wild that we've gotten to a point where this is an actual conversation. Ever since WWE's working relationship with TNA, which is really only NXT and Joe Hendry showing up on pay-per-views. Sorry, I had to get a drink and then I had to do the Joe Hendry clap. But ever since then, it's been good. But you look at it, and this also has to do with the AAA conversation in just a minute. But a lot of WWE NXT superstars are holding TNA titles. It's getting more eyes on both products, right? But now that we've gotten to a point where apparently TNA could be sold to WWE, that is completely nuts. Personally, I hope they don't buy it. I hope that they just kind of continue this relationship. I hope that the relationship grows, and one day the TNA World Champion comes to like Monday Night Raw, and we have feuds like that, or the other way around. You know how cool it would be if Seth freaking Rollins like went to TNA? That's a huge name, I know. I know. You're probably yelling at me going, not Seth. But just imagine it. Imagine like Moose, someday is the world champion again, and Seth crosses over like after he loses his world title, and is like, hey, I won a world championship. You got a world championship. Can you imagine Seth Rollins versus Moose on like a WWE show? It'd be so cool. Or a TNA one. When WWE buys a company outright, even nowadays, I don't really think... Is that on my screen? Yes. I don't think it would be good for TNA. Whereas it would be great for TNA if they could just keep it like it is. As far as them moving to Wednesday nights, I couldn't care less about that. I do not get to watch Impact on a regular basis. I mostly have to rely on YouTube videos and news reports and stuff like that because I don't have whatever channel they're on now. I don't even know what it is. Moving to Wednesdays, not a big deal. It all depends on where they go, which comes with its own thing that apparently they may move to a WWE affiliated network like USA or the CW. Is that where NXT airs? I would say Fox, but Fox got rid of SmackDown. So I don't think TNA is going to like go to Netflix or anything like that. It's fine. Something just fell over. Hold on. But if they put TNA on like the CW, that'd be fine. I think NXT is one of their most watched shows right now. So TNA would be no different. Again, I don't know if you could get TNA on a network like USA. USA is a much bigger, well-known network, but they could do it, right? Or any of the NBC Universal-owned networks, because that's Peacock, right? Every time there's a Saturday Night's Main Event, it's on NBC, I believe. So there's a lot of options here for TNA, and I just hope they get a good deal and a good place. If it's Wednesday nights on the CW at the exact same time that AEW Dynamite's on, I guess we have a brand new Wednesday Night War. I personally hope WWE doesn't buy TNA. I hope they come to some sort of agreement. Maybe a 50-50, maybe a 60-40, maybe an 80-20. I don't really give a damn. But I do not want WWE to outright own TNA. They're better with their competition nowadays than they ever have been. You go back, if you don't believe me, go back and watch what happened to the WCW wrestlers when Vince bought WCW. They were treated like absolute garbage, trash, horrid nonsense. It was the worst thing ever, and it never got better. No matter how hard you try to twist it, it never got better. When they finally got Goldberg, they nuked him. They took him 14 years? No, that's not right. Like 11 years to get Sting. And what happened? What'd they do? They had him lose at WrestleMania, and they made it about the Monday Night Wars. It was the dumbest shit ever. So we've come a really long way. Like, you know, they have a good working relationship with TNA. But I'm just saying, I think it should stay the way it is. Speaking of that, perfect segue into my final thing I want to talk about today, which is this relationship between WWE and AAA. Now, last night was Triplemania 33. That was really hard to say for some reason. It was on YouTube for the first time ever for AAA, which meant it had a global audience, which AAA never really had that. They didn't mind being in their own little world down in Mexico, but ever since WWE purchased AAA, too many three-letter companies, their performances have been more noticeable globally. Like Worlds Collide, which is going to be another one, I guess. Woo. I didn't mean to buy Zero Sugar. I wasn't paying attention. But anyway, so I watched AAA, and when the show started, like during the opening ceremonies and when the first match got going, which was Copa Bardal, I think is what it was called. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that. Which is like their version of a Royal Rumble, just with a lot less people. All I could think of was, okay, how many AAA guys are actually going to win matches tonight? Majority. I was very pleasantly surprised. The majority of the matches were won by people in AAA. The only two matches where WWE, quote-unquote, guys took home the win were Copa Bardal, where Omos won, which was kind of obvious when his music hit, and is another complaint altogether, but I'll get to it later. And the Judgment Day, won. Did they win their match? Yeah, they won their match. So, and that was fine. I think that was the 6-person tag. But all the other matches were won by AAA guys, and one of the matches was a straight AAA match. El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. versus El Messias, I think. I'm trying really hard here. First, I also want to point out that it was a really good show. It's free. It's on YouTube. Go watch it. It's so much fun. I was laughing so much during the show, not because it was bad, but because it was so entertaining. The opening Royal Rumble style battle royal, holy crap, was really fun. I didn't know some of the competitors, but Corey Graves on commentary, heir apparent. He's going to take it from Michael Cole. Michael Cole leaves easily. Was amazing at letting you know who was who. JBL was great. He made me laugh out loud multiple times. And Conan, I love Conan. Who doesn't love Conan? But from that match all the way to the 4-way main event between Vikingo, Americano, Dominic Mysterio, and Dragon Lee, the whole show was entertaining as shit. There's even a Lucha Extrema match, which is just a street fight for the AAA tag team titles. It's Legado del Fantasma, I think. Los Garzas, Angel Umberto against Psycho Clown and Pagano. It's so much fun. It is an absolute blast from start to finish. The Psycho Clown rips off part of his mask, and Corey Graves tells JBL that he just ripped his own face off. Oh my god. There's tons of comedy spots. Micro Man, a literal 3-foot-tall luchador, comes out in the Battle Royal, immediately followed by Omos. Amazing. Incredible. Hilarious. Of course, Mr. Iguana and Laesca. There's a thing with Finn Balor that I don't want to tell you about. I want to make you go watch it. Go watch it so you can watch the 6-person tag and you are going to lose your mind. But anyway, I was pleasantly surprised by that. Now, you may be wondering, okay, so if that went well, why don't you want the TNA thing to happen? Because currently, I don't know about currently. Again, I'm not able to keep up as much as I'd want to. But at one point, mostly NXT people were holding TNA titles. Like Trick Williams was the world champion. JC Jane was the women's champion. Excuse me, I need a different drink. Phlegm. But it really seemed like when TNA would cross over to NXT, they would lose. And I will say, when there have been, NXT superstars have lost on NXT. But it just felt for a while there that WWE was flexing a little bit. Now, that was always going to happen because Triple H is in charge, and Triple H was taught by Vince McMahon. Thankfully, he has taken his own approach to this, so I'm not going to change what I said about TNA. I do hope that TNA stays its own entity and just works with WWE, and maybe WWE helps them out, and vice versa. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. However, I have been very impressed by what they've been doing with AAA. AAA clearly told them, you can buy our company, but you're going to work with us, not the other way around. Because in that tag team match I mentioned for the AAA tag team titles, there was barbed wire on multiple occasions, and WWE doesn't do barbed wire, not anymore anyway, but AAA does. I am 100% sure that when they made this tag match, made it a street fight, that they told WWE producers or whatever, they're like, look, we're going to do this our way. If you don't like it, then we don't have to do it at all. So, I guess I'm stuttering. TNA is going to have to keep the same mentality if they do say that. If they do decide to get bought by WWE. So I guess that's it. Little over 20-minute video here, just talking about wrestling. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments. Oh my God, I'm having such a stuttering problem. Let me know down in the comments what you think about all this. The WWE ESPN deal that starts next year. TNA moving channels, stations versus AEW getting bought by WWE or not bought at all. And let me know if you like AAA under WWE's banner. Again, there's just a lot going on all the time, but specifically today, and I'm not really in a position to tell you guys about it just yet, but after it passes, I'll let you guys know, because I'm going to have to talk about it, because, yeah, it's a lot. So, anyway, that's it. Hopefully I'll get back to playing Amnesia soon, and we'll do more wrestling discussions if you guys want. Until next time, this is JT Channel. I am JT. I'll see you in the next one. I don't know why I always have to do that.